What's up, guys? Welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to start out with Acreze. Castle level's 20, so I'll jump into it on my knight. We should be getting back to more of a regular schedule in the next couple of days. There might be 1 or 2 more days without content, but we should be able to get back back to normal here in this week. So that's good. Alright, so I've talked a little bit about these Stairmasters on this specialization before. Well, surprisingly, they're doing 40 damage, which is higher than I would have thought. Probably because I am a knight and I don't have the highest magical resistance. But it's not anything like super outrageous. I don't know, I prefer to have the teleportation Stairmasters when you're dealing with like under level 28 Stairmasters because they just don't do all that much damage on Ominous Orb. But 40 damage a tick isn't terrible, I guess because I was standing in like 3 orbs at the same time. Maybe they were stacking. I don't know if they stack or not. I'm still kind of unsure of that. Generally you don't use multiples, and I'm guessing that's why, but honestly I've not really tested it, because they die pretty quickly anyway, so you want to use Defendatrons kind of often on them. But yeah, the bottom line is I would say that the Ominous Orb isn't really worth it until level 28, and even then, because of the nerfs, it's probably not worth it after that to use it anymore. Alright, so that guy's kind of annoying. But generally, I don't really like Dr. Skulls as a support unit. And I've talked about this a couple of times. Basically, I don't like them because for a 10 cost unit, it seems very unlikely to be worth it when you're only supporting 10 other points, right? You only have 20 points to work with. Maybe when free creation mode comes out and we have kind of a more unlimited stretch of units to work with, you know, that could be a factor. But as of right now, 10 points to support another 10 points of units just doesn't seem worth it. I would almost always use a puppeteer, unless I'm in the boss room where I have a lot more points to be available to me. The same reasons why I don't like mittens as well, is just the support value isn't really worth it to me. Alright, so DPS Cyclopses, they're fine. They do get shut down pretty heavily by bear traps if you're an archer. But they're okay. They've been buffed recently, so I guess they're good DPS units. I think I still prefer the other two, but I'm really not sure about it. Same basic concept with this this Stairmaster. I think he would do more damage if he was on teleport. He would probably hit for like 100. These are a lot easier to dodge as well. Not so much on knights as on archers, but still. They don't do tons of damage. Alright, another Dr. Skull. Again, I don't really like Dr. Skulls unless they're on Raising Hell, unless they're in the boss room. Alright. I guess it's making me take a little bit more trap damage because I have to kind of chase these guys down and stuff, but that's really the only benefit, is I do have to kill the Dr. Skull, mainly because I'm under-leveled. If I was like 2 levels over this, or if I was with my archer and I had my gear, I would easily be able to kill off this group without actually having to engage the Dr. Skull first. But my knight is definitely built more to defense rather than attack. Alright, just 1 Cyclops in a group. Can't really expect to get much done with that, but I guess you had an extra 6 points, so you just threw it in. In terms of making good defense, I still do say that this room specifically is quite bad. Probably the worst that there is. It gives the attacker the most vision, and well, I need to try to make sure I don't die to this. Okay, because I was one headshot away from death, but yeah, it gives the attacker a lot of vision. I can see what's going on up here. I can plan my attack pretty easily. I can usually get to every monster I need to, unless it's blocked off well with like a mine or something. So I don't really like this straight room here. It's kind of a fun room in terms of like just having this, you know, straight narrow passage and you just have creatures in it and traps in it. It's kind of fun that way, but it's not really all that effective for an actual like legit defense. Alright, Stairmasters again. I mean, they do a little bit of damage to my knight. I'm not sure if it's because I'm like a level down on them, or if it's just because they're doing good damage or whatever. I don't know, you have to test out teleport to see how much more damage it would do. Because I know each bolt will do more damage, but they'll both be kind of easy to avoid. Also, Pete Poundmores are very difficult, and since I don't have any more potions, I have to be a little bit careful of this. Alright. I guess I should take it a little bit slower, see if I can survive through the rest of this castle. I don't know, it's pretty difficult at the lower levels to make an effective defense. Like, I don't know, you're doing pretty well in this castle. I've used all of my potions up. But the problem is someone at level 22 could probably go through your castle quite easily. Especially when you get like big potion increases, where your potions start to heal more and more and stuff like that. At those levels it's even more difficult. At level 32, I think it's probably the best balanced of like all of the difficulties, all of the levels I guess right now. Even then I would say it's still probably slightly, I mean not even slightly, it's quite a bit favored to the attacker winning, but it's not terrible. I don't know, the devs and the stats seem to say that problems exist more so in the lower levels than in the higher levels. Or, I mean, the opposite way. Sorry, I'm trying to not die to this. I think I'm going to, though. The stats seem to say that there's more of a difference at the lower levels, that, like, it's not as skewed as I'm thinking it is. I'm thinking that attackers should almost never lose to these castles. If you're, like, the same level or a higher level. I don't think you should really ever be losing to castles, because you have 4 potions, and there's a lot less castle to go through than at, like, level 32, where you have 9 rooms to go through. At this level I might have 6 or 5 rooms or something to go through, so I have a lot more potions per room, if that makes sense. But I haven't played through the lower levels, obviously, since the game kind of came out. Maybe like if we ever get into open beta or something, or if I, you know, use one of my keys or something to do extra videos to like go through the lower levels again to see how the difficulty is. I'd like to wait until we get to more, like, when free creation mode comes out, it's going to change literally everything. So, you know, I'll see what I can do when that comes out, to see how the difficulty is everywhere, and maybe even do castle designs, go all the way up through from level 1 to 32, doing castles on like blacksmith gear or something that are effective defenses. It'll take me a little while to actually get effective defenses off of blacksmith gear, but I'm sure I could do something. But yeah, your castle's pretty good. I died to it, I used all of my potions. So for like level 19 and 20 it'll probably be pretty good. 21 and 22 you might have a little bit more trouble keeping people out. I would consider trying out Stairmasters on Teleport, see how they do for you. If you think the ones on Displacer Orb are better, Ominous Orb I mean, then I mean keep it that way. But yeah, it's a pretty good castle. We'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, next up we have Afares. Castle level is a 17, again on my knight.
Hey Castle, you are so not ready.
So I like the Cyclopses. I don't really like the Derps. I think the Derps should be something different. The specialization you have on your Hungerbot, I'm also questioning a little bit. I think Hook would be better than Slow, although I don't like Hook as much as I used to, because it's a lot easier to dodge, and it's just, I don't know, Hungerbots have seemed to have like changed their role. A lot of units, to be honest, in my opinion, have changed the role to more of like a generic space control monster, revolving around dealing damage with your traps rather than having the creatures actually be the ones that are comboing. You're kind of just having the creatures there, hoping to deal more trap damage. At least that's how I've started to look at the game. And I don't think that making someone slow in this area of your castle is really going to do much. It may help the Cyclops' advance a little bit, but I don't think it's going to get you a hit or anything. Because if you're moving away from a Cyclops, even at a slow rate, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to get away from their swing. So, I would change this to either Pinstrike or Hook. And then the derps, I would take them out for something else. Some other 4-point or 3-point creature. Probably 3-point, probably like a Bone Puppeteer would be best. And then have one of your derps like out in front or something to spot for the group itself. The one random Smelly Warriors are a little bit weird as well. Let's see. I really do need to make my new castle so I can kind of show what I think the role of Smelly Warriors is now. I should probably do that in the next day or two. I think I'll have a little bit of time where I can do it, and then I may enter into the competition if there is one this week. I haven't really been paying much attention with the holidays and everything. I've been barely able to put out like one video every other day, so hopefully I can rebuild my castle. That'll get some content out there, and also maybe a couple replays from it if I do the competition as well. Alright, so again we have one of these Ominous Orbs. You can see the difference though when you're kind of a higher level than the Ominous Orb people, the Stairmasters. I'm taking only 20 damage a tick. Obviously it's one tier lower, so that damage will go up. I'd be surprised if it's going to be 40 if I was like level 20 or 21, like the last castles was. I'd just be surprised if it was, like, it's probably around 30. But I was just a little bit low level, so I was taking a little bit more damage. Like I said, I kind of don't like Ominous Orb or the slow eyeball specialization at the lower levels. I don't like the slow eyeball specialization anyway. I think that one's just bad because it's too slow, it's easy to dodge. Ominous Orb is kind of easy to dodge, but it deals decently high damage to high levels, and it's really good at space control. But it's recently gotten nerfed quite a bit, so teleport might actually be better on those as well now. Something I have to do a little bit more testing on, but I'm reasonably sure when I make my new castle I won't be using Ominous Orb anymore. But yeah, when they reach tier 4, which is level 28, they gain a huge damage increase. I must have accidentally double pulled. It probably wasn't even an accident, I just sort of did it because I was talking. But that's fine. I just have to be a little bit careful of this feet pound more. Try to kick him away and take the least amount of damage as possible. Alright. And now the Zeke. He's dangerous. Cool. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Ominous Orb anymore. I think my castle will mostly consist of space control trash mobs, spread out a little bit. And the same, I could even use the same room and trap setup that I used previously, just switching out the groups for different type of space control. Because right now you can almost sit in an Ominous Orb if you have a high enough magic defense. Getting hit by a couple Ominous Orbs isn't as dangerous as getting hit by traps, so it's almost right to it's almost correct to take an Ominous Orb rather than take trap damage. However, Cyclops' on charge have been buffed significantly. It seems like Smelly Warriors' heavy-handed attack has been buffed to the point where it's almost double the damage it used to be. And that sort of thing, when that hits, can be a lot more devastating. Alright, and then a Count Snottingham to round it all off. Is that Defendatron actually defending anything? Looks like it's not. Looks like I wasn't able to kick him away far enough, though. Generally, you can, like, do sneaky little plays when there's a Defendatron inside of a boss room, where you can, like, hook it away and then get on the other side of it and kick it, so that it'll push the Defendatron off far enough that you can kill off the boss. But yeah, pretty good castle. The same thing applies where I would say that Stairmasters aren't really good on Ominous Orb until they get up to level 28. You should stick to teleport or change them out for completely different mobs. just kind of the way that it works, being that, you know, at tier 4 they gain a bunch of extra damage, especially on that specialization. So we'll jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, and lastly we have Foxplay. Cast level is a 31, so I will jump into it on my archer. Let's see what he's got in here. I'm always looking for good ideas to use in my castle. So I'll try to take the least amount of damage possible when I'm going through this. Alright, so we have one of these setups here. So this is the easiest way to deal with Ominous Orb at the higher levels, because they can deal a little bit of damage. Just try to keep your distance from them mainly. Look, I'm like mainly watching this top trap right now as I was backing up through it to see how I had to time myself. Like I would skip a round of auto attacks if I had to in order to back up through it without taking damage. And you can pretty easily take 0 damage from this. Obviously it was a little bit more time consuming than I would have wanted, but other than that it's fine. Alright, let's see what this one is. I would actually argue that this spot would be better for a Stairmaster pull than the last one was, because this is a lot more cramped. Although this is good space control as well. Oh my god. I thought that guy was going to get stunned off of that. That's really bad. Alright. Well, the volley should finish it off. Alright, taking too much trap damage. This Zeke looks like maybe I can get this angle right here. Nope. So that looks like it was probably blocked off correctly, where you cannot hit the Defendatron until the group is already aggroed, which is good. That's what you want. I'm not sure what the Puppeteer was on yet because he was too far away. Zeeks are actually quite a bit more dangerous at level 32, rather. I'm not sure about level 30, but at level 32 they can 2-shot me if they get good damage. The Defendatron is a little weird here because I'm not sure what its priority is to defend. Like, I would almost rather like a Hungerbot or something on Pinstrike. I don't know. The support unit here, like, what is it really trying to defend? One archer? Okay, the other 2 would get volleyed or auto attack down. I think I can hit this. Yeah, I got that one. So maybe if you could maybe move one of the Defendatrons over to block off the angle of that top, or one of the Stairmasters over, rather. That was really bad. Let's see if I can do it without taking a potion. I might die because of it, but we're gonna see. Looks like I killed them, as long as I can get this health globe. Alright. Hitting this angle, it looks like I have to be pretty close to the trap, and even then it's a little bit too dangerous. So that angle's pretty good as well. Alternatively, I probably could have aggroed the group by killing off the Puppeteer, but the Puppeteer did not get the Zeke, which is just generally what's going to happen when you... Oh my god. I saw that coming. When you have Puppeteer on Enrage, they always enrage the thing that's closest to the hero, so oftentimes it's not going to be a Zeke, which is a little unfortunate. I wish you could add like some sort of like an AI command, I don't know, like something basic like click and drag on the creature you want it to enrage or something would be pretty cool. I double pulled here, which is fine. So there's something that went wrong here. I'm not sure if it was because I double pulled or if that's just normally what happens, but your Defendatron is defending a Snotter instead of the Zeke, like I'm guessing what you would want. Alright, and then there's a Doctor Skull coming around, trying to stay away from him so he doesn't start resurrecting. And yeah, these skeletons do quite a bit of damage now. I like them a lot more than I did even last patch. And I thought they got quite a bit of an improvement when they got their 50% health buff. Yeah, so I mean, so far this is a pretty good castle. You can see how much the nerf effect Stairmasters. I was only getting hit by it for about 115 there, and before the patch it would have been at least 200. These are, actually they're level 32 Stairmasters, so it would have been hit for even more than that. Probably about 250 to 300 each tick rather than 100, so it's a huge nerf to them. That's why I was saying I might use teleport Stairmasters if the damage is high enough. I'll probably just use a potion here. I've already died once, so... Alright, Dampener out in front. Obviously it's going to get killed more times than not. And then the Puppeteer comes next, and then the Smelly Archer. I'm not sure if you could move the Smelly Archer and the Defendatron a little bit closer and make the Puppeteer come last. I think that would be a little bit better because, I mean, I have to take the time to kill the Defendatron anyway, so why not have the Puppeteer come afterwards and actually get its support spells off. Alright, 2 Snotters. Puppeteer, and then Dr. Skull. I can wait around for this Dr. Skull and try to stun it, but he's still being defended, which is good. I kind of thought it was going to be a Dr. Skull when I saw the 2 Snotters. And this is actually pretty dangerous. Like, you can't get surrounded like that by skeletons. Usually you used to be able to ignore them, but you also don't want to start heading backwards because you can easily get like flanked by these skeletons like that when you're auto-attacking. If you backtrack, he starts to just resurrect the entire castle. That's why I like Dr. Skulls, is they can pretty quickly overwhelm you if you're not careful. And they take a reasonable amount of time to kill, even if they do like a crappy job, as long as you throw in a Defendatron with them. Alright, again, you can see how the Puppeteer will enrage the thing closest to you rather than the Zeke, although the Zeke had just died. Even if it like went to enrage the thing with the highest point value, I think that would be better AI than what it is now. What it is now, oftentimes it'll like frenzy a skeleton that it summons or something, rather than what you want. The only thing it really works good with is Pete Poundmores, and even with Pete Poundmores if you have a spotter out in front, because 16 point Pete Poundmore, 3 point Bone Puppeteer, and then you have the 1 point Snotter. If the Snotter's out in front, it'll try to resurrect that, or not resurrect, but frenzy or whatever that. So it works okay on Pete Poundmores, and it works okay on Jimbos. That's kind of it. Alright, that guy delinked. So again, if you can delay your Zeke from coming around so quickly, you can make it so the Defendatron actually stays linked to him. Right now he's delinking, same as the group you had previously. Alright, another good good spot for one of these guys. This is getting out of control a little bit here. I can't even really find the Dr. Skull. Like, I'm looking for him in the group and I can barely find him. There we go. Once he's dead, they die pretty quickly. But you can see that some of them do survive volleys. Generally the ones on the outside, which is why he became useful after the 50% hit point hotfix, and then now that he got even a damage buff on top of it, it's really good. Alright, that one got enraged, so I have to be a little bit more careful. Stun him. Headshot, okay. Enraged headshot Zeeks are super dangerous if you don't notice that they got enraged. Because a lot of times you just play on the normal timing of them, and then you get hit by 2 volts almost instantly, because they fire so quickly when they're enraged. Alright, obviously I don't want that Snotter enraging Count Snottingham. Count Snottingham is another person, if you get far enough away from him, he's pretty easy to dodge. But that oftentimes makes you take more trap damage. Alright, so yeah, pretty good castle. I died to it. I only used 1 potion, but obviously me dying is a pretty big win. Maybe I don't even want to say that you had too many Stairmasters because you didn't really have all that many. I would say just what was it that I was talking about earlier that you had two? Oh, the Defendatrons unlinking from your Zeeks. That's a pretty big one. You want to try to fix that. Is the biggest problem that I could see. So that is number 3. So we'll end the video here. As always, if you enjoyed, please subscribe. If you want to be a part of Hero Castles, you can email me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com. There is a link in the description to a spreadsheet that will show you kind of when I'm planning to do your castle. Once I get it updated, it's not instantaneous. I actually have to check the email and then add it to the list. But you can see, how many are on the list already, and then you can kind of get a feel for where your name will pop up. Usually I try to do one viewer castle every day, but this last week has been a little bit slow for me. So yeah, with that we will end the video. Thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Also, another beta key giveaway this Friday, so check the video for that. It's, it should be on one of the last couple uploaded videos. You have to comment on the video where I did the last giveaway, so whatever, beta key giveaway 1 or whatever was the title of it. So yeah, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.